Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari, and under human rights and humanitarian law, we are discussing about vulnerable groups. Who are these vulnerable groups? Vulnerable groups include women, child, aged, disabled, minorities, tribal, etc. And in this video, I am going to discuss about rights of women. This is video number 1 with regards to rights of women, where I am going to discuss about the global scenario, and in my next video I am going to focus on Indian scenario. Why to waste time? Let's get into the first slide. First thing first, let us try understand how many world conferences have happened with regards to women rights until year 2020. The answer is 4. The first one happened in the year 1975 in Mexico City, which is also called as International Women Year. And remember, this is the base for the Convention on Elimination of all kinds of discrimination against women, which happened in the year 1979 in New York City. That convention is what we are going to discuss in detail from my next slide. So I am putting pause on that particular point as of now. And in the year 1975, the focus was given on equality, education, employment, etc. The second World Conference on Women happened at Copenhagen in the year 1980, and here the focus was the half-done work of the World Conference of 1975, because the inaugural conference, whatever objective was there, it couldn't be achieved by 1980. So the focus again was shifted to 1975. The third conference on women happened in Nairobi during 1985, and here the focus was employment, health and education. And the last conference on women happened in Beijing during 1995 with major focus to equality, development and peace. There was one special session in the United Nations General Assembly during 2000. That is one another aspect you can mention. Now let us go to the Convention of 1979, which happened in New York. The history of elimination of discrimination against women starts from the year 1946, where a commission was formed on the status of women. In the year 1967, the General Assembly adopted a declaration on the elimination of discrimination against women, and the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women happened in New York during 1979. This particular convention had 6 parts with 30 articles. In this video, we are going to discuss 2 parts, that is part 3, which has article from 10 to 14, and then we are also going to discuss part 4, which has 2 articles, that is article 15 and 16. Article 10 discusses about right to education, Article 11 discusses about right to employment, Article 12 discusses about right to health care, Article 13 discusses about right to economic and social life, Article 14 discusses about right to women in rural areas, Article 15 discusses about right to equality before law, and the last article, that is Article 16, discusses about right to marriage and family relations. Let us understand a little more extra on these 7 articles. Article 10, which discusses about right to education, has as many as 8 subsections, and they are discussing about same conditions of career, vocational guidance, same preschooling, general, technical, professional and higher technical education among the men and women. Now there should be same curricular, same examination and same equipment to be provided to both men and women, and there should not be any stereotype between the men and women that are discussed in first 3 subsections. If there are scholarship, then there should not be any discrimination against women to get such scholarship, and if there are any continuing education program, the importance should be given to females also, and if there are any female student dropout etc., the school should always try to bring them back, and if there are any sports or physical activity, they need to be trained to women also, and along with all these there should be access to specific educational information to help to ensure the health and well-being of families, including information and advice on family planning. All of these are covered under Article 10. Article 11 discusses about right to employment, which has 3 subsections along with several subclauses, and subsection 1 focuses on elimination of discrimination against women. Here there are several rights given, like the right to work or the right to the same employment opportunity or the right to free choice of profession and employment, the right to equal remuneration including the benefits, the right to social securities like in the time of retirement, unemployment, sickness, invalidity or old age, etc. And then there is a right to protection of health and safety in working conditions. All of these are given under subsection 1. Let us go to subsection 2 now. The second subsection has all focus on preventing discrimination against women on the grounds of marriage or maternity. Now, this is the subsection which has given all base for Maternity Benefit Act in India or for many other countries. Here, no employer can terminate a female employee just because she is pregnant, or when she is pregnant, the work allotted need to be taken care. There should not be any sensitive work like giving higher wage job, etc. should not be given, and women needs to be given with maternity leave when she is pregnant, and for the child there should be post care facilities available. All of these are covered under subsection 2. And then comes subsection 3, which discusses about protective legislation relating to matters covered in the article shall be reviewed periodically in the light of scientific and technological knowledge and shall be revised, repealed or extended as necessary. Now, in the case of India, you are seeing the number of maternity days leave are being increased. Why? Because over a period of time, we have to ensure that we are going with the science and technology, and if there is any necessary requirement in law also, you need to make such changes, and that is what given under subsection 3. That is all about Article 11. Article 12 discusses about right to healthcare, and the first subsection discusses on the elimination of discrimination against women in the field of healthcare. That means there should be equality between men and women when it comes to the facilities of healthcare. Here, subsection 2 is very important, which discusses about state parties providing appropriate services to the pregnant women or during confinement or the postnatal period, or granting free services wherever necessary. All of these are discussed under subsection 2. Now, it also says that state is responsible to provide adequate nutrition during pregnancy and lactation. Now, in India, via Anganwadis, lot of nutrition food are given to pregnancy and during lactation. That is how this particular article is taken care. Article 13 is about right to economic and social life, which discusses about the right to family benefits, the right to bank loans, mortgages and other forms of financial credit, and the right to participate in recreational activities, sports and all aspects of cultural life. Article 14 discusses about right to women in rural areas. Here lot of discussion happened with related to women in rural areas, like the participation in the elaboration and implementation of development planning at all levels, and to have access to adequate healthcare facilities including information, counseling and services in family planning. In rural area, what happens? The women are not aware about family planning, etc. So it becomes the responsibility of the state to develop adequate healthcare facilities and give them information related to family planning and do counseling, etc., which becomes very important. There are 6 more points which I am discussing in the next slide. The state should take care of social security programs for the women along with giving training and education, maybe in formal or non-formal trainings, to increase the literacy, with that to extend the services with related to technical proficiency to the women also. They also need to develop self-help groups or cooperatives to bring economical aspects in the life of the women. Along with that, the state should encourage the women to participate in all kind of community activities and also give agricultural credit and loans, marketing facilities, appropriate technology and equal treatment in land and agrarian reform, so that the women are involved in those areas also, and state should enable to enjoy them in adequate living conditions, particularly in relation to housing, sanitization, electricity, water supply, transport, communication, etc. That way, there should be overall development of rural women also, which is what focused under Article 14. Article 15 discusses about right to equality before law. It is the responsibility of the state to ensure that there is equality before law when it comes to male and female. And when it comes to civil matters, the legal capacity should be identical so that men as well as women have similar opportunity and capacity. And all the procedures should be same in courts and tribunals, and state parties should ensure that if there is any capacity of women making their legal effect lesser than men, then such laws are null and void. That is a very important aspect. And when it comes to freedom of movement or choosing the residence or domicile, the freedom should be same between men and women. That is what discussed under Article 15. Article 16 is about right to marriage and family relations, where we again have two subsections, and the first subsection has as many as 8 subclauses. The first subclause says that there should be same right to enter into marriage, and while marriage happens, it should be happen with free and full consent of the women. That is second subclause. And during the marriage as well as the dissolution of marriage, the rights and responsibilities should be same between men and women. And once they are becoming parents, both of them have same rights and responsibilities towards their children. These are the first 4 subclauses. For the remaining, let's go to the next slide. When it comes to the number of children or the spacing between the children, there should be equal right available with the women also, along with she should have access to any kind of information or education, etc. related to the children. And there should be equal right to the women when it comes to guardianship, wardship, trusteeship or any kind of adoption of children. Along with that, if there is any choosing of family name, profession or occupation, there should be personal right to both husband and wife, and there should be valuable consideration when it comes to ownership, acquisition, management, administration, enjoyment or disposition of property. The second subsection is very important because it makes the state to specify the minimum age for marriage, and then it also makes it compulsory to make the registration of marriages. So these are the important subsections which are covered under Article 16, which is all about right to marriage and family relations. I hope this presentation set up a very good premises for the rights of women in India. I am going to discuss that topic in my next video, where I am going to bring lot of case laws with fundamental rights and other human rights to women as far as India is concerned. Till then, thank you so much for subscribing my channel. Please like, share and comment my videos. All the very best for whatsoever purpose you are referring my channel, and thanks again.